Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3 and the Realm of the Chaos Dwarves, where today we're hopefully securing the first of our artifacts for the Great Drill here. Actually, while I'm thinking about that, is it necessary for us to upgrade the drill again to complete the thing? It doesn't look like it. What does this actually give us? So 500 income, 200 raw materials per turn off 150 workload. Oh, okay. It gives us a fairly efficient source of additional raw materials and armaments that are not reliant on the expenditure of raw materials at all. So, okay, it's not critical for the objective, but it would be a really good idea. How expensive is that upgrade? 2,800? Alright. That might be the next thing to do with our raw materials. We might want to hold off on any other expenditures. Because control is relatively solid, right? Yeah, we're hanging in kind of low here. Over here, it's actually a little bit positive and on the way to being better. So, yeah, maybe we're banking raw materials for a little while. We still don't actually know what's in this stack, right? It could be a lot of dinosaurs. It could be a real problem. This army is not actually all that well set up to deal with a bunch of large, high armor enemies. I mean, obviously the blunderbusses pierce armor for the most part, but they're not. These are really designed for punching through like groups of infantry. They don't have the raw damage that you would like from a monster killing unit. We do have the war machines, at least. Like, the Iron Demon is probably a pretty good monster killer. Yeah, we might want some of these in the other army, actually. Just in order to help us deal with the war sphinxes and stuff. How far are we from being able to expand our counts on that? So it's 180 for another one. Bonus ammunition. Okay, extra powder is up here. And I don't think we have any immediate need for armaments, right? There's nothing else I was going to spend a bunch of armaments on. Yeah, gosh, we just need stuff. We just need a lot of stuff. All right, well, keep bringing in the raw materials, keep converting them. So I don't think I like our chances against this army full of monsters just yet. Although Drazoth's stack is definitely better poised to deal with them. So what do I want to do? I mean, we should probably pick somebody nearby and start devouring them, right? I guess actually, you know what? Let's run Drazoth out this way. Because Drazoth can, at the very least, help take down the dinosaur stack. Even if we don't have the optimal weapons, like 40v20 is a pretty big advantage. We'll do that for right now, and then we'll have to figure out what we want to do as far as other relics afterward. And we've got a reasonable amount of conclave influence pouring in every turn. We're going to get a seat every like 10 turns at this rate, which is not maybe totally optimal, but there's also nothing we can do about it. Where are you going? Maybe like sailing around toward Pig Barter? Okay, there's a bunch of war going on between the Chaos factions. Seems fine to me. Yeah, maybe that's a very slow sail for Pig Barter, because they are at war with us already. Yeah, you just kind of get in the water, get down here. Can you meet? Alright, we'll get together, we'll core up together here, and then we will figure things out next turn. Yeah, this army really has almost no movement speed. We get to control this battle, the time and place of our battle very closely. So we still need to sit and wait Oh wow, moving Drezoth out of there really increased the cost. I'm not going to hold off until he comes back. I think that's probably a bad move. But yeah, that is something I maybe could have considered when formulating my big plan. Well, whatever. So I think we're just holding off on everything at this point. Does this upgrade with money? No, that's raw materials. This upgrades with money. It's a little bit of extra medicinal plants for the trade routes. 1% extra casualty replenishment. I mean, I guess it's worth it. The money itself is not terribly valuable right now. And then, yeah, nothing else that we can upgrade with gold. Do we have a convoy running right now? We totally don't. Cragbrows is returning to capital in the next 3 turns. All right, that's fine. We will get there. Because that might be a good way to bring in a bunch of armaments. If we could trade out some money for some armaments or something. Oh, maybe they're not even going for pig. Maybe they're going for something south of Pig Barter. Okay, the War Host of Jar have claimed a tower seat. Not a big surprise there. Technology. Oh, I think we just finished convoy cartographers. So yeah, let's take unilateral agreements. Love bonuses for every completed convoy route. And does that mean... Yes, that means I'm allowed to have a second convoy. So what do we have available here? Moves unseen and unheard, so catching this overseer off guard is tricky business. You have additional Infernal Guard. I do like additional Infernal Guard. That's pretty cool. This lord will spawn with one of those Kadai destroyers, though. That's very exciting. I want the Kadai one, right? Kalani Growlish. That's a heck of a name. All right, Kalani, I want you to find me a source of armaments. We can pay out armaments very easily. Actually, is it possible to get armaments from other... No, because they're like... When we talk about armaments, we're talking about things that we are forging. So no, of course we can't get them. All right, well then... We want to pay out for either a large amount of raw materials or a large amount of labor then. And I don't know that it matters hugely which one we do. 1,300 for 627. I mean, yeah. I guess this is going to be more raw materials in the end because of the way labor depletion works. So there's a bandit high threat stop, a couple of bandit high threat stops along this route. That's interesting. I definitely don't want to be paying out armaments, though. What about Grungzint? We don't know this route at all. Let's find out. And 2 turns until Skalf is back, and we can send out the other good upgraded convoy. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Drazot. Do we have the movement to engage this turn? Yes, we do. And I wanna have Baruch lead. I want the war machines on the battlefield to start with, and Drazoth's army to show up a little bit later as reinforcements. Alright, so just move 2 armies close together, and... Bam, easy. What is this stack actually made up of? Okay, a Dreadsaurian, a Coatl. I don't think I've ever actually even seen one of these. I haven't played Lizardmen since this unit was added. Sacred Croxigors, multiple Bastillodons with laser cannons on their back. That's what a quote-unquote solar engine is. Yeah, it's a lot of dinosaurs. And also Temple Guards, which are very high armor, very high health infantry with some bonus versus large and stuff. This is a scary army. I think we're going to go ahead and take the auto-resolve here, because I think in this case the auto-resolve is overestimating our troops a little bit. Does anyone die? We lose some hobgoblins. You know what? And for some reason, this unit of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, hard to say why those are the ones who go, but you know what? I will take that. I think that's a fine outcome. Take a seat, dinos. 259 more labor. Wow. Look at the labor versus treasury disparity. The thing about lizardmen is they have a lot of gold on hand. Yeah, I guess we'll take the ransom then. At last, the ancient relic of Scavor is in our grasp. With the power of the runic braces bound to demonic power, our dream of reaching Hashut's fiery realm would be one step closer to realization. Having said that, the recognition and influence you would gain from keeping the braces for yourself would be glorious. A temptation almost too good to pass up. Yes, almost indeed. I like gaining the replenishment rate bonus on all of our armies, so plug it into the Great Drill. Yeah, it's doing kind of a bad job of keeping... There's so many notifications that it's doing kind of a bad job of keeping up with them. Despoiled and disfigured by demonic binding, your demon smiths have rendered the runic bracers of Scavor to be no more than mere fragments of chaos. Through the efforts of sorcery and hellish science, they have been made one with the great drill of Hashut for eternity. May their power fuel our drill as it carves a path to the magma our sorcerers desperately crave.
The Hell Workers labor to bind a demon to the first dwarf relic, despoiling it completely before placing it into boilers of the great drill of Hashut. Such desecration will be remembered by the dwarves of the West. Yet it was they that cast the first stone. It was their ancestor gods who abandoned the forefathers of the Dwarves as they ventured eastward into the Dark Lands. All dwarves can bear grudges, and those in the West shall never be forgiven.
They did start it, I feel like. I was just building a drill very innocently, definitely not for the most evil purposes you could possibly imagine. And then they just came over here and decided to crap all over it. Okay, so Spirit Leech is a pretty simple, like, single target, do damage to that guy spell. The core of this particular wind of magic. The passive for the Death School is just every time you cast, you get a little boost to your winds, a little bit more magic. Sort of an exhibit, hey dog, I heard you like spells kind of situation. And then, what else do we want to pick up? Aspect of the Dread Knight, I believe, is... Yeah, it's a buff to a single unit that gives it bonus leadership and also makes it cause terror and fear. And as you can see in the tooltip down at the bottom there, causing fear makes your unit immune to fear. Causing terror makes your unit immune to both fear and terror. So this is really, as much as anything, it's a defense against leadership loss. It's fine. Soulblight is a damage spell, if I remember correctly. No, this one... Okay, this one nukes the weapon damage and armor of enemies. And Doom and Darkness is just a very large leadership drop. Okay, to be honest, I kind of like Soulblight, actually. Those are some pretty good stats to be reducing. And just like with most other casters, we're going to pursue this line up to Arcane Conduit at the very least, so that we can cast as many spells as possible. And we'll figure out other stuff afterward. Yeah, you tell him, Baruch. Okay, over here, we have Long Years of Exile, so this seems like a good time to get Flames of Asgore. Makaz indeed. And just yellow stuff, right? We're building toward 4 charges of ammunition replenishment for allies in range. Seems pretty good. Yeah, bonus range is bonus attacks is bonus damage. We actually have more than one skill point here. Reload time reduction is also a pretty solid damage increase. More bullets per time unit is exactly what we are looking for. So I think we want to head back home with this army. Try to recruit some war machines to finally take on that quest target over there. And Baruch doesn't have anything of terrible import to do right this second. So let's go grab this mysterious island. We're going to want to not be in full sail mode when we actually touch it. So we'll just stop here for the moment and wait. And then, yeah. We may, in fact, actually get the Dresdot's discount on the Black Fortress. Also, if y'all don't mind, hold on a second. I'm going to go into the options here real quick. We're just going to turn the speech volume down to like half. Because holy hell, these dwarves love to shout. All right. Technically, we have enough conclave influence for a seat, but it's going to be a crummy seat. We want one of those nice tier 2 chairs. So I guess we're good for the moment. Who has unassigned skill points? Oh, right, the new convoy guy. Yeah, that makes sense. Just gain some of this stuff. He will go forth and map out where are the safe areas. Where is all the commerce hiding? So we do need to have a plan for approaching these other relics. We probably need to figure out which relics we want. It seemed like there were a couple that were pretty close to us, but for at least one of them, we're going to have to go on quite a walkabout. Actually, maybe there's only one that's really close to us. It's the Lesser Ancestor Relic of Thungni. Secret rune of magic to the dwarf race. We'd have to control Karak Azorn. And it would either be in the drill, honestly kind of bad, plus 7 winds of magic per turn for all armies and like a little bit of magic item drop chance. Or, if given to a person individually, it gives a 5% damage resistance to all of the units in their army. Yo! Yo, and the rune, the ability is good, the warp flame attacks are good. Yeah, this seems, I know you're trying to win the game and everything, but that seems like one that is way better when equipped on a person. So do these major ones, do they give you a really significant bonus in the drill? I mean, that's pretty okay. The champions of the mall will be prevented from arriving. Oh. Do all of the majors do that? Yeah, okay. So our final battle is going to have a bunch of enemy forces uniting against us to stop it. But if we defeat them first in the battle for the major relics, we don't have to deal with some of them. And none of the lessers do that. So there probably is a lot to be said for making sure that we have claimed the 3 majors, whether or not they are the ones we install in the drill. And if that's the case, if we're going to have to conquer 3 more anyway, then it probably doesn't hurt anything to take this one as a relic to give to somebody. Okay. Karak Azorn. Which one is Karak Azorn? Currently held by Grimgor's Ardboys, which is potentially scary. Grimgor is usually a pretty powerful faction. See, this is all their territory. Diplomacy. Where is Grimgor? Okay, 8 settlements, strength rank 36. Now, we're strength rank 12. We are doing better than they are. But still, that's a non-trivial war, right? That's a big war. Yeah, Drazoth, run. Let's grab this. We stumble upon an encampment. Debris and spilled accoutrements suggest the original incumbents left in a hurry. Incumbents? I think I don't know that we're going to be engaging in a battle anytime soon with this army, so let's take a campaign map improvement. Shiny boots and fresh recruits. Found ourselves a little bit of money and some favorable wins. Okay, wow, that's a lot of bonus movement for 10 turns. Okay, so now that that's done, what do I want from you? I guess we could take some more land here, right? Yeah, the Fortress of Vorag is a major. We could gain ourselves another tower. How strong is this player right now?
I will not
Oh.
once I have slain you.
So this balance of power bar here indicates our relative military strengths. The more green it is, the more powerful we are relative to them. They must have like just recently lost their armies or something in battle. They are at war with a couple of other players. They are experiencing a sort of a local minimum of effectiveness. This would be a great time to go over there and say howdy. But I probably want to land like at Pigbarter. Well, all I have is laborers available for recruit at Pigbarter. I'm just thinking like obviously I'd like to fill up this army. Yeah, go to... Where is the northern border of Pigbarter's territory? It's up here. So if I want to do local recruitment from Shattered Stone Bay, I have to go like over here. Alright, that's unfortunate. That means it's going to be like 4 or 5 turns before we're actually down in Elf Country, which is enough time for them to recruit a whole thing. Nah, it's fine. We will take advantage as we can. So I think at this point, okay, we are close enough to be getting the discount. It just needs to be within the same region, I guess. Yeah, let's definitely take the 2,800 raw materials for that. Do I want to upgrade Shatterstone Bay as well? We're going to want to spend a bunch on this. And we're going to want to spend a bunch on a bunch of things, is the problem. That's something that I wanted to spend armaments on. Probably not overriding the war machines. Yeah, you know what? We gotta rebuild our proper armament factory. It does matter. Okay. So hopefully we're able to take a fair number of bodies, put some zombies in the labor force. Off of this battle, fighting the elves will potentially be pretty good for us as well. Kulani Growlish has encountered some rats in a tunnel. We know this deal. Again, this is a truly terrible army, so I feel like we can just fight the battle. Kill some rats, reduce the length of the journey. Sounds like a win-win. Once again, they've got the ambush, so I feel like we should do this manually just to be sure. This army's a little bit less powerful than the other one that we took through this similar situation, but we do get to see a Kadai destroyer in actual in action, which I'm excited about. I think the Skaven are going to have a really hard time dealing damage really to any of the units in this army. Well, I guess we know that the Fire Spirit guys actually are not that well defended. They have like 60 armor, I think, but that's it. So we may want to be a little cautious with them. Make sure that they're doing flanking moves and stuff. Alright, did they... Actually, it looks like they went a kind of a different way here, and they've all formed up on one side. So here's a Kadai Destroyer. This shit is every bit as cool as I was hoping it would be. Pretty poor melee defense. Honestly, pretty poor melee attack. But you know what it does have is 612 weapon strength. And a Hellish Frenzy. As long as its hit points are high, it's got all those bonus stats. Not a huge charge bonus. Alright, it's an interesting unit, for sure. It's got that blazing body. Alright. Oh, that's right. There's some just like raw physical resist. Not that much, but this thing at least has 100 armor on top of that. So, somebody's got to kill the Rattling guns. That's pretty important. Actually, just going to have you guys turn around. Oh, if I do it like that, hold on. Let me make sure I'm telling them to space out in a way that makes sense. Back here, it's all just like slaves and clan rats. Nothing actually threatening. I'm going to have the Fireborn like run across. We'll see if we can't draw their attention a little bit. The sling attacks should be basically meaningless against the Destroyer, so I'm going to have the Destroyer just charge in here. How fast are you? Okay, 60 move speed's pretty reasonable. Chaos Dwarf Warriors head in this direction. You also head up there. Okay, let's do it. Doing my level best to turn our ranged opponents away. Because in melee, obviously, they are going to get totally ruined. And stop running. Okay, their shit's over with. They did way more damage to our Fireborn than I thought they were going to, though. That went really quickly. Their Master Assassin Lord is trying to, like, hurl shurikens at me or something. Hey, don't let them get away. Stay focused. They are fake broken right now. I do not want those guns coming back into the battle. So we're getting a little bit of point-blank fire here, but also remember our gunner units can just defeat these low-level Skaven in melee, no problem. Once the Rattling guns are permanently broken from battle, obviously the Destroyer is going to come back through here and completely wreck. I'm watching carefully. I'm a little surprised they haven't gone to permanently broken, though, considering how much damage they've sustained. All right, turn around, punish those guys for coming after you. Or don't, you know, just like get back over here generally. Oh, actually, if they're going to stop. It's weird how when I give it an attack order, it slows down dramatically. Yeah, because now it's going to take actual ranged fire. I guess just keep moving. These rats are mostly broken already. That unit of clan rats right there. Plan here is to free up our gunners and then just pit our guns against their guns to finish off the Rattling guns. The Rattling gun is for sure a superior firearm to our blunderbuss, but what we have now is a huge numbers advantage. We just have way more gun than they do. Guys, remember the shooting? There we go. Problem solved. Alright, this battle was over quite some time ago. You know what? Turn around and shoot those Night Runners. Jesus. You know, quantity really has a quality on all its own, doesn't it? Right, stay after them. Everybody just kind of be clear of their lord. So I don't want anybody else taking friendly fire, which will happen if we're not careful. Yeah, a single unit of rattling guns can do a lot of really very serious damage, and we saw that there, and I'm very sad about the loss of the Fireborn. They can't really stand up to anything. I wanted them to sort of like grab the rattling gun's attention and pull it sideways, but I needed to give them a wider berth. Like, they needed to be outside of the rattling gun's range. I was a little worried that they would not themselves be a good unit to execute the attack on the gunners, because I was worried they weren't fast enough to, you know, like get the gunners focused somewhere else, and then have these things run in would give the gunners too much time to shoot at whatever the other thing was. But I mean, we saw how this worked out. It's fine. We'll get the convoy rebuilt. By the time this convoy finishes running, we're going to have that skill that gives us bonus units every time a convoy trip finishes. Let's go hang out in the Black Fortress for just a moment here. You go ahead and make your landfall. We have Skalf available. Let's send Skalf out there. And what do we want from Skalf? Is it just a bunch more labor? Probably. It's probably more labor, but it's definitely not armaments for labor. Yeah, so it's just gonna be like run to Crystal Spires again. The route to Crystal Spires has been decent for us in the past. All right, somebody else bought a seat. They're this isn't the button I want. They're 150 in the new tiers, right? Yeah. Okay. We're waiting. We do have the armaments necessary to push up the Altar of Fire, but I really want to focus on getting some cannons in here. So let's upgrade this twice. I could upgrade it a third time. What I'm definitely thinking is that I just want to have some Iron Demons. Right, the suppression to keep the monsters from running into our troops quite so quickly. I mean, there's something to be said for, like, a rocket launcher with 420 range as a weapon for dealing with large enemies. The magma cannon's definitely compelling. I think I want the Iron Demon. I think so. We can't even make these, can we? We could. I need to upgrade the thing again. And then there's the Dreadquake mortar weaponry, which we do not have access to. But yeah, that would be a good thing as well for us to spend armaments on. God, we need so many armaments. All right, we're building up Shattered Stone Bay. We're going to construct a thing there. So yeah, we do that, and then we trade out, like, what do I not need? Let's lose a unit of Hobgoblin Cutthroats and a unit of Archers, maybe? Or actually, I have a space open here. So let's go 2 Iron Demons. Which we're going to be sitting for a while. And then, yeah, maybe I want to drop... maybe I was right. Let's drop these. I can put one more unit of blunderbusses in this army. Maybe it doesn't need... Maybe, you know what? Maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I should just pick up more normal Chaos Dwarves. And then obviously the other Iron Demon. 6 turns of sitting here is a little rough, but I think that makes sense. And the other blunderbuss can go to Baruch.
Skull key.
Yeah, I think that'll be the plan. So we're gonna we have a little bit of just kind of sitting here and waiting in our immediate future. These global recruits, they're very slow. It shouldn't take anywhere near as long for Baruch's army to be ready to go, though.
Awandrag. Engaris.
Alright, so in this position,
Waddle.
we can local recruit from here, grab those Chaos Dwarves in 1 turn, and then this army is missing a little something. We could throw some armaments at some extra spaces for these types of units. We have 448. Ooh, Rune of Sundering is exciting. Do I want to get some Infernal Guard is the question. Like, how much better are these really? 32, 56, 100 armor versus 30, 44, 85 armor. There's more HP in the unit of Infernal Guard. Yeah, I mean, the cost in increasing recruitment capacity is quite different. We'll do like 1 of each because I can't afford 2 of the good ones. And in this case, I think let's go Great Weapons. Alright, so you'll be sitting for 2 turns. Yeah, that's fine. Kalani Growlish is just getting better and better at convoy. Although, you know, also kind of looking in pretty rough shape. Yeah, let's go ahead and max out Pig Barter. We should probably put like a proper garrison structure in here, right? We've got our weapons workshop and our spice market, and we'd like to defend those things.
Kaskaran roof. Ekudiol erpetu.
You really go through a lot of armaments very quickly when you're expanding your unit caps. Part of the problem here for sure is that I did not prioritize rebuilding my arms workshops when we lost Shattered Skull Bay. Or Shattered Stone Bay, whatever that Shattered Bay is over there. Kalani Growlish has encountered the Beastmaster. Do we want a dragon? A cacophony of roars and feral shrieks rings out ahead of your convoy. A dark elf Beastmaster approaches. By the look of his shackled beasts, he has recently returned from an expedition into Norska and poses little threat, his retinue of hunters visibly weary and battered from their run-ins with the Northmen and the critters of the tundra. With a tired, drooky sneer, he offers the convoy one of his creatures in exchange for some supplies. Though we care little for the Dark Elf's plight, such a beast could be useful. Yeah, a black dragon's like a pretty serious unit. I'm gonna accept it. We could use that. And here's the unilateral agreements. That's wonderful. So gain an additional unit when completing your route, and our trade tariffs improve every time we complete a route. Raid a region belonging to any of the following enemies of the War Host of Jar for some diplomatic relations and some money. They would like us to help them out. And the Knights of Calidor are the people we were about to go after. So I think this is something we'll be able to pick up pretty easily once Baruch is finished recruiting. So what is our next technology? I mean, honestly, 10% extra armament output does feel relevant. That's low cost. We'll just grab that and then we'll move forward from there. This is weird. Why does the Iron Demon have a different style of like bottom of the unit card? Why is this a bar instead of the little half circle? It doesn't matter. It's just weird, right? Anyway, Shattered Stone Bay is ready to construct. Sorry, not this. Here we go. An assembly line. And I guess a sluice gate as well. No reason not to. And then we do have enough resources for a seat. So we could grab the other random unit capacity increasing seat because they have left it open. I think I'm inclined to go that way. Just because it feels so significant to not have to spend, like, every time we don't have to spend armaments, it's such a huge gain. So once 2 of these are full, we can move up to tier 3. Winds of Magic up, more army abilities. Spawns a temporary army of hobgoblins when sacking enemy settlements. Interesting. Is that good? I can't even tell if that's good. Upkeep reduction for all of your troops is certainly significant. Construction costs down. Ooh. The High Commissioner seat's valuable. And then you're building eventually toward... you can just purchase Confederation with the other factions if you get up this high. Interesting. That's a cool way of modeling sort of like the influence of being at the top of your religious social structure. All right, everything's going fine except what I really need is some labor. Like a hell of a lot of labor. Drazoth has become a musterer. Another Chaos Dwarf faction would like access to my lands, like to be able to move troops through my territory without... Yeah, fine. This affects me not at all, and they gave me a little bit of a bribe. Alright, spend multiple turns recruiting, get better at recruiting. We still have 3 more turns to go before we're done there. But you get to run down to here. So this area belongs to the Fortress of Vorag. We don't have the movement speed left necessary to switch into raiding mode right now, but we'll step over and start raiding here next turn, finish that quest, and also get ourselves some desperately needed labor. Is this the best use of labor? We're probably pretty close to... Yeah, once we finish this, I actually would like to get the drill increase. Like, next, probably. And that is going to require us to hold on to our raw materials, because our numbers are getting all fucked up, because we aren't, because we don't have enough labor. So let's hold off on all of that. This turn, before we step across the border, we need to check again on how this elf force is doing. I would like it very much if they were still weak, but they've certainly had time to fix their stuff up.
Face me on the battlefield.
So yeah, they've definitely built something up, but they're still showing us a lot weaker than we are. Alright, we'll swap into raiding mode, and we will head kind of generally this way. Okay. 119 elven civilians per turn into the labor pool. That'll work. Again, horrifically evil, just truly deeply monstrous. You know what? I do want to upgrade the weapons workshop. And now that we're pulling in more sources of labor, we're also producing raw materials much more efficiently. Did one of the caravans... Okay, yeah, one of the caravans finished. That's why we all of a sudden are doing well again. All right, that's fine. Good. And Kalani... Oh, wow. Traversing the northern Grey Mountains is no easy feat, yet the hardy traders of your convoy never faltered. Having successfully completed their dealings in Grung Zint, they returned to our lands with a reward more than worthy of their treacherous journey. They got a pair of Arachnarok spiders. So this army now, this convoy, has a very, like, monster-heavy... what do you call it? A very monster-heavy construction. That rules. Let's go through here and check out your ancillaries. Can I steal that? I'm going to steal that Orc Shaman. Kulani Growlish, you don't even know any spells. The powerful Berserker, I'm actually going to put onto... Is that on... That's on Skulf. Skulf, you don't spend any time raiding or sacking. You're a convoy. We're gonna pass that over to here. But I do think it's super cool. I really like this mechanic where your convoys are going to distant lands and gathering up like the units and peoples of those lands. That's very fun. We don't have a lot of spare stuff available. Wait, do you not have your Demon Spire Crucible equipped? Okay, let me take this Scroll of Shielding off of Drazoth, because he should be wearing his Demon Spire Crucible. I guess we'll equip the Pigeon Plucker Pendant, because it's the only other talisman. Yeah, I think it's definitely... It's better than the Obsidian Lodestone. I don't think either one of them are very good. And then... You are for sure. Getting your Crucible. This should be equipped. This is a total no-brainer. Look at how cool it is. Plus leadership for the whole army and everything. All right. Feel a little bit better at that. About that. And with that, I think we're good for the turn. Oh, we gotta level up our caravan, our convoy overseer here, obviously. Yeah, lower the chance of ambushes. Ambushes can be harsh. Alright, so we should get credit for our requested rating at the beginning of this coming turn here. Really not that many factions left in the game at this point. There has been an awful lot of bloodshed in whatever it is they're all doing over there in the west. And Skulf Cragbrows has encountered some hungry demons. Traversing realms is hungry work if these demons we've encountered are to be believed. You could choose to sate their gluttonous appetites in the hopes of avoiding a fight, but on the other hand, death would solve their hunger too. So what are we looking at here? Trolls, Warhounds. They've got a few units of very heavily armored, very combat-capable Chaos Warriors. There's a Giant, a unit of Trolls, a unit of Spawn. I think we should be able to win this battle, I'm pretty sure. What are you? Some Chosen of Slaanesh. When did y'all join up? We got a War Mammoth? Oh, hell yeah, we're going to win this battle. I'm just going to take the auto-resolve here. It kills 2 of my units of Hobgoblins, which is annoying. Could I do better? I could probably do better by hand. And it's not an ambush, so we'll get the full use of our guns and stuff. Yeah, you know what? Let's fight the battle manually in the interest of preserving our units. The fact that we picked up a war mammoth somewhere in the north is very. I love the war mammoth. What a fun unit. Got another unit of ogres at some point. Man-eaters with great weapons. Yeah, this should be very winnable. We want to construct our line around sort of like funneling the enemies into the field of fire of the blunderbusses, using the hell cannon to just pick at them until they are willing to join. And then I believe that the dragon ogre is a good anti-large unit and should be able to fight that giant pretty effectively. Yeah, it has 30 bonus versus large. To be perfectly honest with you, giants just aren't very good, in my opinion. You want a giant to be a powerful thing, but it usually just doesn't work. Alright, so we got this like little ridge here. Should give us pretty clear vision. I'm going to set the hell cannon right nearby that reaches real deep into their zone. Get some sneaky gets near the gunners, but stealthily so.
Biggest in the Troy.
They don't have anything that has any real range. So I am very much just like keeping our archers in the front. The Shaggoth, let's do over here. Axe infantry just kind of hang out nearby. And yeah, this mammoth with the war shrine on its back. This is such a cool unit. So in addition to all of the normal, battle capabilities, it has a leadership aura, and it gains physical resistance as nearby units die. It doesn't even have to be stuff killed by the war mammoth. And also, look at it, it's a cool mammoth. It's got skulls encrusted on its tusks and stuff. Again, they don't really have any ranged units, so we are going to get to just pick at them for a while. Let's focus in on the Chaos Warriors. They're going to bring these Warhounds around. We do not have to worry about that. So one thing that's cool about the Hell Cannon is because it is firing angry, hate-filled souls, the projectile is semi-intelligent, and it actually can steer in the air a little bit. So you'll sometimes see it make shots that seem unlikely or impossible. And in fact, you can sink down into it. You can take manual control and guide the projectiles yourself. And I'm wondering if it might be worth doing so, because this thing is really not shooting for shit right now. Get him! Yeah, those throwing knives are doing some decent work. Not a smart charge. Oh, just step forward, just block them. Okay. There we go, we're finally getting some hits. We don't actually want the halberds to be the first thing to meet the mammoth. Charge directly into them. Remember, ogres using that mass to just do terrifying things on the charge. Okay, let's bring forth some units. So, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, straight through the ranged. The Hobgoblins have spent all of their throwing knives already. They don't have a lot. We're going to bring these man-eaters around. I'm going to put the Hell Cannon back on, extra explosions. Where's their giant? Their giant's all the way back there. I'm going to try to just run our Shaggoth around and pick the giant off as quickly as possible. And these 2 units are going to fall back a little bit to let the melee through, and then we're going to reposition them based on how everything works out here. I probably do want to bring the War Mammoth. I mean, I think we can just kind of bring it forward into the middle. Go flank those trolls. Let's try to stop those halberds where they are. Okay, so these Chaos Warhounds have come around, have managed to come back. They're going to lose in melee to our blunderbusses very badly. This really worked. This whole front just kind of folded, huh? All right. Well, that being the case, y'all charge over here, and y'all, I guess stay on these Chaos Warriors. Just keep them tied up. You guys can charge this way. You guys can charge that way. And my plan with these Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses is going to be try to... Gosh, the whole battle seems to be sort of moving sideways as I try to reposition here. Never mind. If those guys are going to run that way, it's no longer safe for me to run that way. You should probably be shooting in the direction of, like, some enemies there, friend. I guess just shoot at the giant. The Shaggoth is actually kind of getting wrecked here, and I'm not 100% sure why. But we can have the Mammoth help out now. Most of the tiny enemies are dead. You lot basically just mob those enemies. Alright, terrifying chaos spawn, eating a lot of fire. Our units endeavor not to hit friendlies as best they can. You know, there's only so much that can be done. Alright, the monster fight. There we go. Landed a couple of decent blows. Okay, that should be about the end of that then. Alright, a decisive victory in which we lost no units. And in fact, nobody even really took all that much damage. The auto-resolver is a wonderful time saver, but sometimes it just does not understand the way that a battle should play out. And to be clear, the auto-resolver is not like simulating the battles in any way. It's not like running an under-the-hood version of the battle map we just saw. Because the thing we just saw is incredibly resource-intensive, right? When you hit auto-resolve, it does some very quick math based on some like loose factors. It is nothing like a real battle. Which is why you sometimes get really strange, unrealistic results out of it. That said, you know, it's part of the game. It is a tool to be understood and used when appropriate. That's how I think of it. I guess take the labor. None of these rewards are very good, but we didn't leave very many enemies alive there, so... Mission successful. The War Host of Jar loved that. Also, I loved that, because more labor. And it does seem like the fortress is just unguarded. Oh, hey, the bar's all the way green again. I think they just lost their army in a battle off screen somewhere. So the War Host of Jar and the Overlords of Jar Duk The Warhost of Jar likes us quite a bit now, if I'm not mistaken. We might be able to forge a longer-term alliance here. Where on earth? Chaos Dwarves. So 10 trending toward 41. Were I to join your war against the universally hated Knights of... Okay, you would not consider this to be a very valuable deal at all. I was kind of hoping we could get a trade agreement going. We can just... actually, they don't even like that enough to take it for free. I would have to offer them money. Did I... What? Okay, well, I guess I'm going to war for free. That doesn't even make sense. They were like, no, you pay me to join my side of this war. Yeah, they don't want any part of a deal about it either. Okay, you know what? You are maybe in my way there, friend. Are the 2 settlements they have in that region, those are the only 2 settlements they own. We may just remove them from the map, actually. Take the Howling Wastes for ourselves. But for right now, I absolutely... I'm just going to knock out the Fortress of Vorag while these elves are otherwise occupied. And since this is their large settlement, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that this is probably where their troop building, tech buildings were. So they're probably in really rough shape now. Alright, we finished the technology. A new training regimen for your heroes teaches them to veil their intent beneath a sheen of civility. After all, a killer with the manners of a rabbit is the most dangerous kind. Chance of successful hero actions has improved. Okay. We're not actually running any map heroes doing hero actions. Maybe we should be. I don't know. Let's take a level of Doom and Darkness. It is quite a powerful leadership debuff. And then, yeah, when we take on Ural's Tomb, that'll be the end of this player. Got ourselves a couple of basic structures we can put together. Let's definitely get the donation barrel going. And we've already got the control building. I guess just recruitment stuff? Having a local copy of the basic Chaos Dwarf infantry building is probably not a bad idea. Okay, so what do we want now? Live to work, work to live is pretty grim. Yeah, and this is all just like make your buildings faster to produce. Obsidian and marble make 15% extra raw materials output for their province. I don't think we have any sources of obsidian or marble nearby. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe we want to go back to the military stuff. Like, we're starting to be able to get more war machines, and so these technologies we wanted to unlock are becoming valuable. Yeah, let's go ahead and pursue this line. Upkeep reduction on all armies, replenishment rate up. I mean, this stuff is awfully good, just sort of generally. And right now, while we have a bunch of armaments, you know what? Let's go ahead and spend the 500 on that. I know we have lots of things we want to do with our armaments, but let's start here. Alright, Scalf is doing Scalf's things. We're going to hold off on raw material spend because we want to push the drill next turn. So yeah. I think overall that was fairly productive. It was very good luck for us that elf player's army got caught out somewhere right as we were going to declare on them. Increased friendship with this Skaven player. You know what? Absolutely. I promise I will not get mad at you if you move your units through my territory. Alright, that's just free stuff right there. Upgrading this is just a matter of money, although it is a huge amount of money.
Doomleth.
Alright, it's a long walk to Underel's tomb.
Stroll, hurry.
So we'll stop just on our side of the line so that we can continue supplying our troops here.
Utu dot lack.
And yeah, I mean, there's not really much we can do about that.
Drazot.
Oh, hey, and we finished the, Well, I want to do this, but obviously I want to do this next turn, or next video. I don't want to start a battle, 65, quest battle, 65 minutes into the episode. So,
Qualuma. Legion.
you know, I guess that's a good reason to just call it here, right? I think that'll be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return next time, we are finally, I swear, gonna push through that big mass of undead inside our territory, and then expand into the world beyond. And we'll see you then.